Hi, my name is Andrew Carter. I work for ULC. We help people speak better English and we help people communicate better in business. Now, do you know how to respond to that? Business introductions are something most people don't give a lot of thought to. We give a name, company, kind of mumble through a little bit more, and that's about it. But this is your first impression, and first impressions are big in business. So I've come up with some ways that you can easily go through introductions with a system, so that way you don't have to be stressed about it. So with introductions, we start with our name. The key with saying your name is to say slowly and clearly so that the people understand it. If you rush through it or you mumble it, they're not going to remember it. And that's one of the key parts of an introduction, is for the person to remember you. The next part is your company. Most people manage to do this fairly well. But not all companies have something that's obvious, something that everybody knows. We don't all work for Google or Apple. So sometimes the company and what you do needs a bit more explanation. And this is where introductions can get to be a little tricky. How much do you put into it? How much do you leave out? Generally, I split it into two groups. There are business people you're going to deal with regularly. They need to know more detail. They need to be more exact in what you do. And then there's the people that are casual. They're going to meet you once or twice, and those you can be very general with. And generally, your product definitions are going to be very general. So I put those up here. We've got three different things that you can do. One is your product. If you're making handphones, truck trailer parts, containers, something that people will know every day, that's a great thing. Notice with mine, I said that we help people speak better English. We help people communicate better for business purposes. Those are things that people know about, and they're very easy to explain. But say your product goes into something that it isn't quite as clear. Well, maybe your customer is somebody that everybody knows. One of my clients that I've dealt with, his parts all went into Samsung and Apple smartphones. So that's what he used in his introduction. Our biggest customer is Apple. Our biggest customer is so-and-so shipping company. If you do these kinds of things, then the person's going to have something to remember you with. The last one is for service people, because service, sometimes it's a little tricky to describe what you do. So the real key is to think about who you help do what. Okay? So you think carefully about who is it that you usually are talking to? What are you helping them to do? Oh, I help insurance agents make sure that all the information is correct. Who do you help? Insurance agents. What do you help them do? Make sure that the information is correct. Very clear. Everybody will understand what you do. So then you've made a good introduction. The last part of it is question. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, remember, introductions are two ways. It's a plural, remember. So not only do they want to get to know you, but you also want to get to know them. So you have to turn around and ask them a question. The more that they have given you in their introduction, the easier this becomes. But there's a trick. If they haven't introduced themselves well, you know some good questions to ask them. What's your product? Who are your biggest customers? Who do you help, and what do they do? Those are great questions to start off a conversation with. You will get to know more things that are very important to your relationship with the person. So these are great questions you can start with. If they've done a good job of introducing themselves and you already know these things, you can move on to other questions like, how long have you been in this industry? How long have you worked for your current company? Once you get some of these things going, listen carefully, ask other questions. But be careful, because remember, they may ask the question back to you, and you'll need to have a good answer. So Those are my tips for an introduction, because now you're into the conversation. So that would be a successful introduction. Until next time, I'll see you later.